Hey, this is Ernie Veritimus. I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between numismatic coins and just regular U.S. coins, bullion coins, like the Silver Eagle or $20 Gold Eagle, um, and whether or not there's a difference. You know, one of the things that I see a lot of people talking about is whether or not they should be buying an MS-70 Silver Eagle as opposed to just buying the regular uncirculated Silver Eagle. Of course, there's a huge price difference. Regular Silver Eagle these days, you can get it for about $1.50 to $2 over spot, or around $20, $20.50, something like that. But an MS-70, which means mint state 70 or perfect condition Silver Eagle, can go as much as $100, $150. Why? Is it, what makes that coin worth, three, four, five times a regular bullion coin? A coin that you might find in a roll, for instance. Well, first of all, let me give you my history of numismatics. I've been collecting coins since I was a little boy. My grandfather owned a restaurant in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and he used to get all kinds of coins in there. It was a restaurant and a bar, so guys would come in there and they would buy drinks with just about anything that they had. And I amassed quite a collection, and from there I learned so much about numismatics, about the history of coins, the art, the people who designed those coins, what they were for, commemoratives, and all kinds of things. Now, of course, as a kid, I wanted to think that my coins were actually worth something, that I was building a collection that would make me rich someday. And in order to find out how much my collection was worth, I would buy something called the Red Book. And the Red Book is a book that's been in publication for about 60 years or so, and it is the de facto standard on rating or pricing coins. But it's way more than that. It tells you everything that you need to know about all the different types of U.S. coins and commemorative coins, all the way back until the Civil War era, or the beginning of the country. And it will tell you what to look for, what makes a coin a very good condition versus an MS-60 or 70 or proof. And so I would use this book to kind of price all my coins. So what I'm getting at here is that, now, first of all, I think there were some other people that I've watched recently, like the Silver Futurist, and he was wondering whether or not the industry was big enough to be able to support the supply and demand, and to keep the price at a particular constant rate. Well, first of all, the Red Book is used as sort of the standard to set the price, but they don't set it arbitrarily. Just like any other industry, and the numismatic industry is a very large industry, it's about $100 billion, price is really determined by supply and demand. Now, in a $100 billion industry, like any industry, there is a good level of supply and demand. So prices tend to stay somewhat relatively stable. Now, but price is really not just determined by this book. It's really determined by the supply of a coin, or how many of those coins were minted, and how many are still in existence, and what is the current demand for that particular coin. Sometimes you might have a very rare coin, and then all of a sudden someone finds a treasure chest of gold coins of a particularly rare $20 gold piece, and all of a sudden there's another 3,000 or 4,000 on the market, and originally they thought there was only 1,000, and well, that is going to up the supply and therefore lower the price, because now the demand is lower or the supply is higher. But so in this industry, you really have to know what you're talking about. Because like any industry, if you go in there uneducated, if you're ignorant about what makes one coin worth a lot of money, and then the same exact coin in a different shape worth very little money, well, the crooks in the industry are going to find you, and they're going to take advantage of you. So it's extremely important that you become knowledgeable if you want to get into numismatics from an investor's point of view. So I look at investors in numismatics as two different levels. There are those that just have the love of the coin, and then there are those that do it for investment purposes. Now, if you're going to get into investment purposes, you really have to go for those very high-grade coins that are rated or graded very highly. And just so you know, that there are professional grading organizations out there like the NGC, which stands for the Numismatic Grading Corporation, or the PCGS, which is the Professional Grading Service. And most of the places that will sell coins, like an APMEX or any other place that sells coins, will use professionals that have been trained and certified under these organizations to grade their coins. So they have some level, you have some level of confidence that you're buying what they say it is. And now, and it's very important that that happens. Now, grading you'll often see will either be fine, very fine, extra fine, almost uncirculated, which is usually indicated by an AU, or brilliant uncirculated is a BU, or MS, which stands for mint state. Mint state are the types of coins that you usually get in a roll or directly from the mint. There's also proof coins, which are specially struck coins that have a high relief and very a mirror-like finish, and sometimes kind of a cameo appearance. But even a proof coin has, you would think that all proof coins, well, it's either a proof or it's not. Well, that's not true. There are some proof coins that are in better shape or better struck than others, and even those can vary in price. And it can be significant. I mean, if you have an MS69 coin, which is essentially a mint state coin that has virtually no imperfections, it might have the slightest nick that can only be seen under a loupe or a magnifying glass. And its value, let's say a $20 silver eagle, its value as an MS69 might only be about $30. Now, an MS70 that doesn't have that tiny little nick is worth $110 or $120 or $150, depending on its actual condition. So understanding that, and understanding that the grading of a coin and the demand for that particular coin and how many of those are in existence is really what makes a numismatic coin. So unless you really understand these things, I suggest that you stay away from numismatic coins, because there are so many shysters in that industry that are going to take advantage of you. There's even the problem of counterfeit coins. The Chinese and some other people in some other Asian countries are really getting into the counterfeiting of these rare coins. So you have to be extra careful if you really don't know what to look for, and they produce some pretty convincing replicas. So that's really what I wanted to say about numismatics and the difference between numismatics and regular coins that you might invest just for their silver content. And if you, so my advice is, if you really do not understand numismatic coins explicitly, if you have very little knowledge, then I suggest if you want to get into that, start reading up. Pick up a red book. Start examining it. Start slow. Buy some coins that have very little value, but just start understanding what types of coins are out there and what makes one coin worth more than another before you start getting into investment grade numismatics. Otherwise, stick to the silver rounds or the gold rounds or the general uncirculated coins that you get in the rolls directly from a mint or from a dealer. That's it. Thanks very much.